I'm Allan Arkush, and this is Trailers from Hell, and today we will be Wild in the Streets from 1967. A very strange movie, and if you're over 30, please don't watch.
If you're under 25, you're the majority, and you can run the country.
Well, this is the movie that divides the world into two types of people, those under 25 and those over 25. And I was certainly under 25 when I saw this movie from the balcony of a theater in San Francisco in the summer of '68. In fact, it was on a double bill with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the guy sitting next to me was smoking opium, which says a lot about being wild in the streets and when this movie took place. Shelley Winters is fantastic in this movie. She's a flower child. She's a prisoner of war. I mean, she does it all. This is one of her great delirious performances. Diane Varsi, very pretty. Richard Pryor as Richard X, I believe, is the character. This movie is kind of a split personality picture. On one hand, the people who made it didn't seem to be that interested in what the movie was about. That is the director Barry Shear, who had also been directing Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Policewoman. But Robert Tom, who wrote it, was definitely the kind of guy who would be part of the counterculture. The movie is sort of part of the anger that was on the streets at the time. In fact, that took place in Los Angeles, kind of calls back to the riots that took place on Sunset Strip. The most famous song of that time coming out of those riots was the Buffalo Springfields, for what it's worth. This movie has sort of mediocre music by Les Baxter, but the songs are really good. They're by Mann and Wild, two veterans of the Brill Building who brought you such songs as Up on the Roof. So Nothing Can Stop the Shape of Things to Come, which is one of the big theme songs, is still something that's heard on the radio today. This is a real youth culture kind of movie. The kind of movie that was made again and again in the late 60s and early 70s, like the Strawberry Statement, and kind of culminates in performance. That's my favorite shot in the whole movie, which is lots and lots of Waller coolers full of LSD, kind of looking like Kool-Aid. Not to mention Shelley's beautiful rendition of My Country 'Tis of Thee. She's trying to escape from a prison camp. Look at her hands on the barbed wire. It's positively biblical. Yep, Max becomes president of the United States, and you have to be over 14 to vote.
Nothing can change the shape of things to come.
It's full of, if you're under 30, you'll want to see it, and true enough, we did. And it's got psychedelic lights and kind of cool music, and above all, a fabulous performance by Shelley Winters. Wild in the Streets, sort of a demented classic of the period, and indeed, the most unusual motion picture you'll ever see.
We're gonna make 30 a mandatory retirement age. We're gonna psych them all out on LSD, babies.